So hello and welcome to Tuesday's Yoga with Phil. Your practice is at your own risk. Please do just pay attention to how you're feeling, be aware of your surroundings and just take the right decisions based on how your body feels today. We're going to start standing today with a little bit of movement and twisting. So if you bring yourself to standing, and this is definitely one of those moments where you want to make sure you've got plenty of space around you, because we're going to take our arms wide and then take a good twist. So taking your feet to what mat width apart, or what would be mat width if you are straddling your mat, and then taking your arms out wide, stretching your hands away from you. And then just taking them back a little bit, so they're not sagging forward, nor are you pushing them back, they're just good and strong. Then slowly at first, start twisting from the hips, left and right. So just take it steady at first. As you slowly twist left and right, be aware of what's going on in your body, so feeling what's going on at your hips. Your hips are probably the first to stop on the way round, and then noticing what's going on in your spine. Your spine will allow you to take it a little bit further than your hips. And then you might notice your arms can then take it a tiny bit further still. If you want to, you can start to pick up the opposite heel as you twist, and also, if your balance allows, take your gaze over the shoulder as you twist around. And then if you're sure you can do it safely, you could increase your speed just a touch if your balance allows. And then starting to slow that down and end up at the front, lowering your hands, which are probably quite tired by now, so giving them a shake, and then coming ready for sun salutations to the top of your mat. So bringing your feet together. Hello Janice, just in time for sun salutations. Bringing your feet together, letting your hands relax by your side, lifting the crown of your head, relaxing your shoulders, taking them back a little, and a tilt of your chest, so that you're coming into what feels like a strong, good posture, the type that you probably would like to think you spend most of your day in. We'll take 2 breaths before we begin. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, bringing your palms together in the center of your chest, lifting your elbows, relaxing your shoulders. So again, feel that strength in your arms as they press towards each other. Then reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Your gaze comes up between them, reaching a little higher, allowing your arms to come back, controlling your rib cage as they come back so your rib cage tilts up, leaving your abdomen pointing forward. Then from your hips, use your hands, keep your arms raised as long as you can. From your hips, then start to descend. Your arms are your control. When you can keep your arms lifted no more, let them drop down to the ground with your knees bent so your fingertips are touching the ground, your neck muscles relaxed, your head hangs heavy. Taking your right foot all the way back, lowering your knee, top of your foot comes onto the ground, let your gaze lift, let your hips relax down. Tucking your right toes under, sending your left foot back to our first plank. So making it strong, you're pressing the ground away with your hands, your navel's coming up towards your spine, your knees are lifting, your heels are pressing away. If you can, lengthening from the crown of your head down to your heels. Your crown of your head's going one way, heels the other. Lowering your knees and bringing your chest to the ground. Keep a little lift in your hips if you can, making contact with your chin, or maybe your forehead will reach against the ground. Pressing forward from there, lifting your face and lifting your chest, taking your shoulders and elbows back, then tucking your toes and lifting your hips, maybe taking them back to your heels first, finding the first down face dog, hips lift on high, hands press down into the mat, heels press firmly down as well, maybe tilting your tailbone up to the ceiling to lengthen out the back of your legs, Looking between your hands, bringing your right foot through, taking your left knee down. Find to lower both knees first, or to help your right foot through with your right hand. Let your gaze lift, let your hips relax. Just bringing your left foot through, finding forward fold again, relaxing your whole upper body down over your legs. Then reaching up. Your arms lead you up, so lead up with your arms, let them bring you up. Reaching to the ceiling, looking between your hands, then hands come down. Inhale, exhale, palms pressed together. Stretching, reaching your arms up and back. Seeing if they can reach a little higher, seeing if your armpits can come back a little more, but not leaning back, simply tilting your rib cage more to the ceiling. From your hips, stretching forward and all the way down. Let your arms control your descent, fingertips in line with your toes on the mat. Sending your left leg all the way back. Lower your left knee, lift your gaze. Allow your hips to relax. Then tuck your left toes under, sending your right foot back to plank. Shoulder blades relaxing back. Knees lifting, heels pressing back. That touch of core. If you're feeling strong, you could lower down from here in one straight line, taking your elbows back, or take knees followed by chest. Relax for a second before then lifting your face and lifting your chest. Shoulder blades ease back, chest heads forward. Lifting your gaze, then tucking your toes to down face dog. Hips lift on high, heels press down, hands press down. Maybe pressing your hands away from you. So if you're pushing, they won't move against the mat, but you're pushing the mat away, helping your armpits and chest head back towards your knees. Pressing your heels down firmly, sending the back of your thighs towards whatever is behind you. Look between your hands, bringing your left foot through, lowering your right knee. Good lift of your gaze. Then right foot through, relaxing into a forward fold. Let your hands lead you up as you reach and stretch up to the ceiling. And hands come down. Inhale, exhale. So we've got 2 more rounds. We'll let these roll straight through. I will offer you the breath that makes the most of each posture. Hands relaxed by your side, the crown of your head lifts. Rest breath to begin. Inhale, exhale, palms firmly pressed together. Inhaling, reaching up, looking between your hands. Exhale, forward and all the way down, now looking towards your knees. Inhale, right leg back, lowering your knee, relaxing your hips. Hold your breath, send your left foot back, coming into a plank, strengthening it as much as you can in this short time as you exhale, lowering down. Knees then chest or one straight line. Inhale, pressing forward, lifting your face and your chest. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lifting on high, hands pressing forward. Inhale, right foot through, your left knee down. Coming into lunge, lifting your gaze. Exhale, left foot through, forward fold. The exhale will help you sink lower. Inhaling, reaching up, stretching up, looking between your hands. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, exhale, palms pressed together. Inhale, reach, stretch up and back. Exhale, forward and down. Fingertips in line with your toes. Inhale, left leg back. Knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, right foot back. Coming into a plank, heels pressed away behind you. Exhale as you lower. Inhaling, face and chest lifts, elbows head back. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, heels press firmly down. Inhale, left foot through, right knee comes down. Exhale, right foot through, relaxing for a moment in forward fold. Then inhaling, reaching up with your arms. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Final round. Inhale, reach and stretch up. Exhale forward all the way down, fingertips touching the mat. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, left foot back, strong plank, press the ground away. Exhale as you lower. Knees then chest all one straight line. Inhale, face and chest lift, shoulder blades ease back. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift, chest back towards your knees. Inhale, right foot through, left knee comes down, lift your gaze. Exhale, left foot through, forward fold. Inhaling, reach and stretch up and back. Exhale, hands down. It's the final side. Inhale. Exhale, palms pressed together. Inhale as you reach and stretch up and back. Exhaling, forward and down. Inhale, left leg back. Knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, right foot back. Coming into your plank, just for a moment, exhaling to lower. Knees then chest or one straight line. Inhale, face and chest lifts. Exhale, toes tuck, final down face dog. Lifting your hips as high as you can. Inhaling, left foot through, right knee comes down. Exhale, right foot through, forward fold, head hanging heavy. Inhaling, reaching and stretching up and back. Exhale, hands down. Taking your feet apart, palms face forward for 2 cooling breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Then bring yourself to lying down on your mat. If you have a bell to hand, it's not essential, but if you've got one to hand, you might just want to just have it to hand. But don't go searching for one, it's entirely optional, so that you can get yourself lying down and take a few moments so that your breath, your heart rate, everything can return to resting. So we'll take a lying down twist. So bring your feet together and bring your arms out at shoulder height, stretching your hands away from you, pressing your hands arms into the ground. Bending your left knee, bringing your left knee in as close to your chest as you can. And then with both your arms firmly pressing into the mat, slowly take your legs over to the right. So your right knee comes over and you will roll over onto the outer edge of your left leg. So the outer edge of your foot will be on the ground. When you've come as far as you can, just let your left foot come onto the ground. Only bringing your legs as far as your left shoulder blade allows. If your left shoulder blade is lifted up, you might just need to lift your left knee up a little to get your shoulder blade on the ground. Then taking your right hand onto your right knee. If you want to here as well, you could just bend your right knee against the ground so that you've just got your lower right leg more firm and stable on the mat. Then start to gently ease your left knee towards the mat. Keeping your left shoulder blade in contact. So again, if you get to the point where your shoulder blade's lifted, ease back a little on the knee. And then once you've gone as far as you can easily go, just start to use your breath so that as you inhale, you press your left arm and shoulder blade down. And as you exhale, you ease your left knee a little lower. Take one more breath there. And just turn your head to face the right. Straightening out your top leg, your left leg, and just taking a hold of it from underneath. And this is where if you're holding your leg by your knee or above, rather than between your knee and your ankle. This is where you might want to take a hold of the belt, loop it around your foot, so that you can then use the belt to help you ease that leg where we're about to ease it. It's bringing your foot as low to the ground as your left shoulder blade allows, and then using your right hand to ease the leg up to the wall that's above your head. So you're getting a stretch down the back of that leg, adding that to the twist. Maybe pressing your left heel away from you and pressing your left hand away from you. And then using your next 2 out breaths as you breathe out, make that the time when you see if your leg can just lift a little higher towards the back of your head. Taking one more breath. And then releasing your leg, bending your left knee so your knees come together, and then lifting both knees back up to the center and stretching your legs out. Take a breath there. And then reset your arms. Arms are at shoulder height, stretching away from you. Arms and shoulder blades pressing into the ground. Feet come together. Then bringing your right knee in towards you this time. Drawing it in as close to your chest as you can. And then when you're ready, very slowly rolling over left, taking both legs over to the left-hand side, rolling onto the outer edge of your left leg. Just let this develop slowly, so allow your legs to come down nice and steady. Seeing if you can then get your right foot onto the ground, and then maybe just bending your left knee underneath you, just to give you that better stability and positioning underneath. Then taking your left hand onto your right knee. And just starting to ease that knee down. Once it's gone as far as it will easily go, then you can start to use your breath. As you inhale, pressing your right arm and shoulder blade down. As you exhale, ease your knee a little lower. Taking one more breath. And turning your head to the left so that you can straighten your right leg. Taking a hold of your right leg from underneath. Maybe attaching a belt around the foot if you're finding your grip is nearer to your knee than to your ankle. Bringing your foot as close to the ground as your right shoulder blade will let you. Then using your left hand and belt if you've got it, starting to ease that leg up towards the wall that's above your head. Maybe just letting your right hip roll away from you down towards the foot end of your mat. And then starting to press your right hand in one direction, your right foot in the other. Using your next few out breaths as the opportunity to lift your leg higher towards the wall above your head. Taking one more breath, final ease of that leg up, then release. Let go of your leg, bend your top knee, bringing your knees towards each other. Lift your knees up to the ceiling and stretch your legs out, bringing your hands by your side, palms turned up. And bringing your feet together, taking your arms above your head. If it's comfortable to interlace your fingers and point your palms away, then do. Pressing your toes forward, your arms back, stretching out as long as you can. Maybe feeling your lower back lift away from the ground as you stretch longer. Then release. Bringing your hands by your side. And coming up to sitting, ready to do some work with our core. So for our core today, we're going to take Navasana, boat pose. So to prepare yourself for Navasana, I've got someone smiling to this. I don't know whether that's because they want to do Navasana or because they don't want to do Navasana, but we're going to be doing Navasana anyway. So come to sitting with your feet together and your knees bent, and then taking your hands behind you. So in Navasana, what we want to do when we're in the posture is lengthen as much as we can from the top of the pubis to the base of the rib cage. So we're wanting to have this kind of action lengthening out. So with your hands behind you, pressing gently into your hands, just allow your chest to lift so that you're getting that lengthening at the front. Maybe just tilting your tailbone down a little. Then lifting your toes so that you come back and find yourself sitting on the triangle that's formed from your sitting bones and your sacrum. So that you feel that you're sitting fairly stably. Then, just drawing your navel in towards your spine. You don't want to pull it on hard. You want it firm but not really rock solid. Then slowly lift your feet away from the ground. I just realised I could do with having my hands with my fingertips pointing in towards me. So you might want to make that adjustment. Then, if that's feeling good, you could lift your shins so that your shins come parallel with your ceiling. Just re-checking in, making sure that you're feeling you've got the right base. You could roll forward or back a little if you want to just make sure you've got a solid base underneath you. Navel's drawing towards your spine. And then you can bring your hands alongside your legs. Keeping your navel drawing in, keeping that lengthening at the front, so easing your chest up and back. And then if you want to make more of a challenge, you could then straighten your legs, lifting your toes so they come into your line of sight. Stretching your arms forward so you're broadening your back. Keeping your navel drawing in. Keeping that lift in your chest. And then to come out, bending your knees, bringing yourself back up, and then allowing yourself to flop forward and take a rest. So we're going to take that one more time. I wanted the first time to see what it's like without any aids. If you found it was challenging to get into the posture and hold it, then what you can do is you can take a belt and take boat pose with a belt. So you take a belt under your feet, and then you've got that additional stability. As you can see, it's still the same boat pose, and that might allow you to straighten your legs. So getting ready, so sitting with your feet together, fingers pointing away from you, feet together, lifting your chest so you're lengthening the front of your body, drawing your navel in towards your spine, then your shoulders come back, and then when you're ready, I've done it again, have your fingertips pointing in towards you, or whichever you find works best for you. I think fingertips pointing in works best. Then navel drawing to your spine, lengthening the front of your body and lifting your feet. So there's no rush, just let your feet lift so you're getting a chance to settle. Maybe just rolling backwards or forwards on your hips to find the stability. And then when it's feeling good, lift your shins, bringing them parallel with the ceiling. Keeping your navel drawing in, keeping the strength, and then maybe bringing your hands alongside your legs. Stretching your arms forward, lengthening, so lifting your chest, drawing your navel in, and then maybe lengthening your legs, aiming to bring your toes up into your line of vision, Keeping your breath steady, keeping your arms stretching forward, broadening your back. You may have a little bit of shaking in there. Holding for one more good breath. And then bending your knees, releasing out. And letting yourself relax. It's a nice posture. It's a bit of balance. It's a bit of core strength, and it uses the core strength that we work on every class. And it's also a great one for the mind, which needs to try and bring everything together to allow you to hold the posture. So from there, let's take a nice cooling, relaxing shoulder stand. So bringing yourself ready for a shoulder stand, stretching out, bringing your palms in close. If shoulder stand isn't for you today for any reason, then I would suggest you take a leg lift. So lying down with your legs lifted. You can help that leg lift by having a block underneath you. That makes it easier, or a cushion. You could also come to having your legs up the wall. If you're taking shoulder stand, have your arms in close and have your elbows in even closer. Key to success is having your arms tucked in close to the body, letting your head just relax back on the ground. And then when you're ready, maybe with bent knees or straight legs, lifting your legs, lifting your hips, and then bringing your hands firmly onto your lower back. Maybe with your fingers extending onto the top of your buttocks. Once you've got lift offers, then just allow yourself a moment to let everything settle. And then if your shoulder stand is feeling stable, you could hold it. But if you want to maybe just experiment with making it more effortless, you could think about maybe lowering your knees towards your face a little, feeding your back up through your hands, or lifting your legs away from your face, feeding your back down through your hands. Keeping your upper arms pressing down into the ground, your shoulders pressing into the ground, that's your stability there. Keeping your gaze looking directly up to the ceiling. I'm looking out to the side, but you should keep your gaze firmly looking upwards. And then from here, if you want to take the pose of tranquility, I'm going to give some instructions for that. There's no need to do the pose of tranquility. You can stay here, or if you're ready, you could come out. Knowing that to come out, you take one hand, then the other onto the ground, and use that as a break to come out slowly with control. If you want to take the pose of tranquility, you can just take your legs and hips back a little bit towards the wall above your head. That takes the weight off your hands, allowing one hand to come down to the ground, followed by the other. So your palms are firmly against the ground. If that feels really good and stable, you could then bring one hand around and rest the shin on your hand. If that feels really stable, bring the other hand round. If that feels wobbly, bring the first hand back and take the other hand around. And the act of swapping hands a few times helps to establish the control that you need to come into a truly balanced, effortless pose of tranquility. If you have both hands on your shins, then just allow your shins to rest into your hands, keeping as much of your upper back on the ground as your balance allows. It can be very easy to take all your weight back so that suddenly only your neck is in contact with the ground. So keep as much of your upper back in contact with the ground as you can while still keeping your legs lifted. So wherever you are, just taking another couple of breaths. Then if you're in the pose of tranquility or any other posture, bringing one hand then the other back onto your lower back. Just resetting your shoulder stand just for a moment. And then preparing for a graceful exit. Take your hips back a little so that one hand followed by the other releases to the ground. And then with your hands as your brakes, slowly lowering back down with complete control. Again, this is a chance to use that core strength. When your hips have landed, let your legs come down, stretching them out. Letting your feet relax apart, turning your palms to face up, relaxing your shoulders, and then take a couple of breaths there. while everything comes back into normal orientation. Wonderful. A fine set of shoulder stands and poses of tranquility, and also people doing what is right for them, which is perfect. We're going to counter pose today with some Matsyasana, the fish pose. Bending your knees, bringing your feet in towards you so you can lift your hips. With your hips lifted, bring your hands underneath you, palms flat on the ground, thumbs touching if you can. Then pressing your hands down towards your feet so your arms are as straight as you can, your elbows are as close as you can bring them, before you then lower your hips onto your hands and stretch your legs out. Your legs stretched out and your feet together. Don't be in a rush to lift your chest right up. First of all, just focus on getting the doming action of your chest. So pressing your upper arms and shoulders down into the ground. And as they press down, allow your chest to start doming up to the ceiling. So think of it as the centre of your chest doming up, or the middle of your back lifting away from the ground, only a little bit. Then once you've got that doming, you could then start to turn your attention to your elbows and your lower arms. Press them down into the ground, pressing your hips against your hands, as you then lift your upper body away from the ground. So you're lifting as vertically as you can to the ceiling. And then once you've got a lift, you could let your head rest back. Maybe resting it all the way back if you've got enough height, so that the crown of your head comes down onto the ground, or the back of your head comes to rest against the ground. Once you're there, keeping the weight into your elbows, not letting it all come into your head, keeping your elbows pressing down, keeping your shoulders easing back, lifting the centre of your back away from the ground, lifting the centre of your chest towards the ceiling. Holding for another breath. And then to come out, pressing into your elbows so your head lifts, tilting your chin down to your chest, and then slowly draping your back down onto the mat once more. Releasing your hands and taking a wrist rotation. And then bringing yourself from there to sitting. And we'll take a neck release after shoulder standing and after fishing, after Matsyasana. Turning your head to the right. And then to the centre. And to the left. Centre and the right. As far to the right as it will comfortably go. The centre, and then as far over to the left. And back to the centre. Wonderful. Then come to sitting on your mat with your legs stretched out. Ready for a forward fold, but we're going to take a slightly different forward fold today. We're going to focus on stretching more the side of the legs and getting a stretch in our hips as well. With this as all forward folds, if sitting upright with your legs stretched out isn't the most stable and comfortable, then take a block and sit yourself on a block. In fact, I'm going to have a block tonight. So Maria's still lying on the ground, but I'm hoping that that's because she's frozen. Not literally. The video's frozen, not Maria's frozen. I hope she's all right. So from here, with your legs stretching out, I want you to pick up your right foot and take it across the left leg. So this is like we often do for a twist, but then I want you to take it further by bringing that leg more alongside you so that your knee comes down over the left knee. You might need to have a bit of a shuffle and a wiggle. We'll all be in a different place, so some knees will be still quite lifted in a good way above that knee. Others may be able to almost get the knees touching. So just in line with where you are, and it's the combination of lowering the right knee and bringing that right foot back alongside you, so that ideally the outer edge of your right foot is against the ground. Then just, as I say, just have a little shuffle so that you can sit upright, bringing your left hand by your right ankle and your right hand onto your left knee. That then lets you sit up straight. Then take your left foot a little more over to the left. So your whole left leg actually. So you're going past the halfway line. Then, sitting up nice and straight. Mari's back, that's good news. Then when you're ready, just starting to ease yourself forward. So you're bringing your chest towards your knee. You're bringing your stomach, if you can, as close to that leg as you're able to reach it. And as you do that, you should feel stretches developing in that left leg. All sorts of stretches will develop. You'll get something maybe in your hip, something down the outer edge. Just refine this by thinking about, can you take your navel towards that knee now? So that you're sort of bringing the stretch from there to help you to intensify. And then maybe seeing if you can press the outer edge of your left foot, the inner edge of your left foot away from you. So you're taking your big toe mound down to the back of to the right side of that heel and pressing that away. The little toe side will maybe come in as you do that. And then you might find you can take your right hand and reach for the outside edge of your left foot. You might find that, but you might not. If your hand doesn't reach, that's fine. Keep a hold of your knee, still easing your navel towards your knee. And then just take a couple more breaths here. Just seeing if you can ease forward on the inhale and relax down on the exhale. Then as you next inhale, slowly bring yourself up, stretching your right leg out and taking a shake of your legs. Then bringing your left leg across the right. Once it's crossed over the leg, bring the foot back as much as you can, stacking your knee, your left knee above the right knee. And you might, as I say, need to do a bit of a shuffle to work out the best way to do that, giving you a good contact with the ground and bringing that knee as close as you easily can. Then with your right hand on your left knee, left hand on your left knee, sitting up straight, taking your right foot leg over across that center line, sitting up straight, and then just starting to ease yourself forward. So you're coming, as always, you're bending from your hips. You can use your hand to help you to ease forward, your hand against your knee to help you to ease forward. When you come as far as you can, really focus on, can you bring your navel towards that knee? That's the movement that really gives you the stretch going on. And then once you've come as far forward as you can there, maybe pressing the big toe side of your right foot away from you, allowing the little toe side to draw in towards you just a touch. That will strengthen. And then you might find your left hand can reach the outer edge of your foot, or you could take that hand somewhere along your shin. Then wherever you are, just using your breath as you inhale, easing your navel forward towards that knee, and as you exhale, you can now let everything melt down and relax over your left knee. Take one more breath, and then as you next inhale, bring yourself back up, uncross your left leg, stretch out your legs, giving them a shake, and then from there coming to lie on your front, ready to do some back work. So those who were here yesterday will get a slight sense of deja vu. We're going to take Salabhasana, locust pose. So setting up for Salabhasana, actually before we do Salabhasana, bring your hands underneath your forehead, rest your forehead on your hands, and then just take a rock of your hips. That will ease out after our forward fold. And then bringing that to a halt and have your hands come underneath your shoulders,
Fingertips in line with the top of your shoulders, elbows will be lifted, bringing your elbows in close. Rest your forehead on the ground if it will easily reach, otherwise your chin. Then with your chin or forehead resting on the ground, first of all just lift your shoulders up and back. So it's a little up and back movement, activating them. Then as you inhale next, just lift your face. So you're looking forward along the ground. Then as you next inhale, slowly lift your chest away from the ground. Be sure that your hands are just resting on the ground. They're not pushing you up. All this lift is coming from your back. Send your shoulders back. Send your shoulder blades down your back, easing your chest forward, elbows coming close to the body. Keeping your breath smooth, taking one more breath. As you exhale, lowering back down. Forehead or chin rests on the ground. We'll take one more cobra. So first of all, take that up and back movement of the shoulders. Then on your next inhale, lift your face so you're looking forward along the mat. As you next inhale, slowly peeling your chest away from the ground. Shoulder blades ease back. Elbows head back. Chest presses forward. So to allow that to happen, you'll feel like you're pulling your hands back. They won't move against the mat, but you should feel them pulling against the mat. Seeing if you can lift a little higher on your next inhale, and on your next exhale, lowering yourself back down. Bringing your forehead then onto your hands underneath your forehead. And then we'll turn our attention to the legs. Bringing your feet towards each other. Pressing your toes away from you. So you're making your legs as long as you can. Then as you next inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your toes pressing away from you. So you're making your right leg as long as you can. Seeing if you can then lift it towards the ceiling. So you're peeling as much of your thigh away from the ground as you can. Pressing your hips down. So you should feel your left hip crease pressing into the mat. Taking one more breath. Seeing if it lifts higher on the inhale. And then exhale to lower the right leg. Stretching both sets of toes away from you. And on your next inhale, lifting your left leg. Stretching it long and then focusing on lifting it away from the ground. So peeling the thigh away, pressing your hips down, so particularly you'll feel your left hip crease pressing into the mat. Your upper body's relaxed, so all the work's going on in the lower body. One more breath, lifting a little more on the inhale and exhaling, lowering that leg down. So taking a breath before we lift both legs. Stretching your legs away from you, making them as long as you can. Then with your upper body resting and relaxing against the ground, as you next inhale, lift both legs away from the mat. As your legs lift, you'll feel your hip crease pressing down. Allow that to happen as you peel more of your thigh away from the mat, keeping your legs lengthening away from you. Keeping your upper body relaxed. All the work's happening below the waist here. Taking one more breath, seeing if your legs will lift higher on the in-breath. And as you exhale, let them lower back down. So we're going to bring everything together with locust. To prepare for locust, bring your hands by your side with your palms facing towards your legs, so your thumb side of your hands resting on the ground. If lifting your legs and lifting your chest now feels stronger than your back needs, then you could either, we're going to do it twice, so you could either take a cobra followed then by a leg lift, or you could rest this out if your back doesn't need it. So resting your forehead or chin on the ground, hands by your side. As you next inhale, first lift your face, just look directly forwards. Then as you next inhale, lift your chest away from the ground. Bring your arms up with you, so your arms are lifted. Then as you next inhale, lift your legs, pressing your toes away from you so you're nice and long. Then pressing your hands and toes back to the wall behind you. That might lift you a little more. And then sending your legs up to the ceiling, sending your arms up towards the ceiling. Keeping your breath steady and smooth. Taking one more breath. See if you can lift a little more on the inhale. And then as you exhale, relaxing everything back down. Bringing your hands underneath your forehead, placing a cheek or forehead into your hands. Preparing yourself mentally for one more. So bringing your hands down by your side, knowing that it's absolutely fine to rest this one out. As you next inhale, lifting your face, looking forward. As you next inhale, lifting your chest, allowing your arms to lift with your chest. And as you next inhale, lifting your legs. Once everything's lifted, pressing hands and legs to the wall behind you. So lengthening arms and legs. Then starting to lift your arms, lifting your legs. See if you can peel more of your thighs away from the mat. See if your shoulders can lift a little more to the ceiling. Keeping that steadiness and strength in your breath. Taking one more breath. Lifting as you inhale. And as you exhale, relaxing down. Bringing your hands underneath your head. Cheek or forehead on your hands. Taking rest. That was wonderful. When we had that last inhale, in unison, everybody lifted away from the ground. Fantastic. So just allow yourself another few breaths. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and pressing back into your hands and coming to standing. No, don't come to standing. Let's take some cat-cow before we come to standing. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. When you're ready, bringing it first to cow. So tilting your tailbone up to the ceiling. Lifting your face and letting the back of your waist dip and relax down towards the ground. Then on your next exhale, tilting your tailbone under, your back arches up and your head tucks underneath. Pressing into your hands, knees and feet to help you to arch. And then keep that going with your breath. As you inhale next, take that to cat, tailbone tilts up, head tilts up. And as you exhale, everything tucks back under, your back arches up towards the ceiling. Smooth movements with the breath. And when you're next in cat, hold cat for a moment. Strengthen your cat, pressing down into your hands, your knees and your feet. And then release. With your knees together, sit back towards your heels. When you sat as far back towards your heels as you can, then bring your forehead down towards the ground. If you need to make fists with your hands and rest your forehead onto your hands so that you can relax and rest down, then please do. Just using your breath so that every exhale helps you sink a little closer towards the ground. Then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, pressing into your hands to sit up. We're going to sit on our heels, but only for a moment. If sitting on your heels isn't comfortable, then do feel free to stand on your knees. Now what I'd like you to do for this next thing, if you can, I know you'll all have different size screens, and you yourself are probably really little on your screen, but But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to sit sideways on, like I'm sitting to my camera now, so that you can kind of see yourself in profile. So if you're sitting sideways on, maybe coming a little bit closer so you can see yourself. And then from here, taking your hips over to the right. And then taking your left foot over across the right knee. So we're setting up for Ardha Matsyendrasana, a full twist. Now once you get to that position, if you have a bit of a shuffle and a shimmy, if your left buttock doesn't have reasonable contact with the ground, then send your right leg straight so that you do get good contact with your left buttock and the ground. Then once you're there, however your legs are, draw your knee in towards you and lift your chest. And take a look at yourself in the video, in your screen, because what you should be seeing is that your back is ramrod straight. And if you find it's not, then again, see if you can maybe pull yourself forward a little more using your knee, particularly bringing your abdomen forward to come against your left thigh. Then, take your left hand behind you, pressing your fingertips into the ground. And now with your fingertips behind you, that gives you another chance to see if you can bring yourself up straight. Then on your next inhale, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, stretch as tall as you can. See if that will help you to straighten. And then keep the height as on your next exhale, you start twisting around to the left, bringing that right hand down against your left leg, your left knee. Now if your elbow against your knee is stronger than you need, you could take a hold of your leg with your hands. Then once you're there, keeping yourself upright, start to turn your chest more to the left. Taking your gaze over your left shoulder, taking your left shoulder back a little bit more to help you to ease round. And then using your next few breaths so that as you inhale, you straighten, and maybe observe yourself straightening in your video. And as you exhale, see if you can ease yourself round just a little bit more to the left. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, lift your right arm back up towards the ceiling. Untwist as you do so, exhaling, lower that hand. Then from there, if you come to sitting on your knees again, so that we're only here for a moment, so we can then take our hips over to the left this time, bringing the right foot over, so that you've either got both knees bent, or if that doesn't allow you contact with your right buttock and the ground, you can stretch your left leg out in front of you. Wherever you are, straightening up as much as you can. So using your hands against your knee to help you to bring your upper body forward. So you're bringing everything forward towards that leg, pressing your sitting bones out behind you. Taking your right hand behind, fingertips pressing into the ground. So you want your hand as close into your back as you can. Then as you next inhale, lift your left arm. Grow as tall and straight as you possibly can. And then keep that height as on your next exhale you start hinging around to the right. Taking your right shoulder back, taking your chest around, lowering your left arm either to come with your elbow against the knee or to take a hug around your leg. Then you can start to use your breath. So as you inhale, you re-straighten, pressing into the backhand. As you exhale, you ease yourself round a little more. Taking your shoulder round, taking your chest round. Using your elbow to support you, but most of the twist should be coming from your upper body strength. Don't use your strength in your elbow to force yourself to twist. You should be easing round rather than forcing. So taking 2 more breaths. Inhale, pressing into your backhand straight, and exhale, easing yourself round one more time. And then as you next inhale, lift your left arm, untwisting as you do so. Exhale, lowering your left hand, stretching your legs out, taking a shake. And then from there, let's take our balance. So come to standing. So for our balance today, we have got Natarajasana, dancer's pose. So to prepare yourself for dancer's pose, I'm going to come sideways on. First of all, just let your hands relax by your side. Have your feet hip distance apart, letting your shoulders relax. And letting your whole body just relax for a moment. Then taking your weight over onto your right foot and picking up your left foot so you can take a hold of the ankle. Just taking a hold and giving yourself a moment then to let everything settle down. Maybe finding the spot that you're going to use on the floor just to hold your gaze on something firm and solid. Then bringing your knees towards each other and maybe seeing if you can just draw your left thigh bone a bit deeper into the socket by lifting your left knee a little. Then when you're ready, lifting your right arm in front of you and then just pressing that arm away so you tilt forward as your left knee lifts up behind you. So there's no rush here. Just hinging forward, lifting that knee. When you've come as far as you can there, you can hold. If you want to challenge yourself, you could start to press your ankle into your hand, allowing you to maybe lift that leg a little higher, really opening your shoulder up behind you, keeping steadiness in your breath. Then as you next inhale, on tilt, so bring yourself back up, lowering your knee as you do so, and then exhaling, letting everything come down to the ground. Taking a shake of your right leg before we then do it all over again on the other side. So hands relaxing. Then picking up your right foot. Someone tell me if that's wrong. Nobody's telling me it's wrong. It's the right foot. Excellent. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for that confirmation. So just give yourself a moment to settle, finding the spot on the ground that will hold your gaze through the balance, relaxing your shoulders, then bringing your knees towards each other, lifting your right knee. So you're drawing that right thigh firmly into the hip socket, extending your left arm out in front, pressing that arm forward as you hinge forward, and as you hinge forward, the knee lifts behind you. Once you've hinged as far as you can, know that this is a fine balance. You don't need to take it any further. If you did want more though, you could start pressing your ankle into your hand, and that will maybe allow your arm to lift and you to hinge forward just a little bit more, allowing your shoulder to stretch and open, keeping steady smoothness in your breathing. One more breath here. Then on an inhale, lifting yourself back up, lowering your knee. Exhaling, releasing everything down to the ground, having a shake. And then from there, coming to lie down on your mat, ready for some final rest, recuperation. So having something behind your head if you want to be more comfortable. Sending your legs out towards the corners of the mat, having your hands away from the body, palms turned up. Making any adjustments from that basic posture though. If there's anything you know will make you more comfortable, then please do take it. So we've done a lot in the class tonight. So you can know The best and most important thing for you to do in this final relaxation is to let everything relax so that your body can do what it does best and take on board and benefit from and build on all of the work that we've done. So you can leave it to get on with that as you relax. Feeling your body resting against the ground. Letting go of any last bits of tension you might be hanging on to. And keeping your body still, just slowly gather your awareness back in. Again, feeling the body underneath, the ground underneath your body. Taking a wriggle of fingers and toes when you're ready. Just reconnecting mind and body. And bringing your legs together, taking your arms overhead for a gentle stretch. Toes can press forward as your hands ease back. And then release that stretch. Bend your knees, bringing your knees one then the other onto your chest. Your arms can come back over to hug your knees in. Doing whatever feels right. So you could take a rock, you could bring your head to your knees to your chest, whatever feels like what you need right now. And then bringing that to a halt, landing your feet down, landing your head down. And from there, maybe coming to the right hand side for a moment or two. Bringing yourself slowly back when you're ready to sitting. Thank you for joining me. It's always lovely to see you all on a Tuesday evening. Thank you. Namaste. Or whenever you're watching the video. Thank you.